Hi guys, how's it going? Mevo here, and welcome back to another card trick tutorial. This move, which is the double lift, is the most, in my opinion, the most fundamental move in card magic. And that's because it is literally used in thousands and thousands of tricks. So you're gonna really have to master this move before you go on to anything really big with card magic. So let me just show you what the double lift looks like. So let's say I take the Jack of Diamonds for example, and if I take the Jack of Diamonds and if I shake it just right, it changes to the Four of Clubs. Okay, so now to do this move, you're pretty much doing what the name suggests. You're taking off two cards and you're displaying them as one. The good ways and the bad ways to do the double lift. The good way is the way I'm about to teach you, the strike double lift. But then there's a really bad one, which is what I used to do, and oh my god, it is really bad. So basically, when you're first starting out in card magic, a lot of people are gonna teach you to get a break under the top two cards by just riffling through until you feel two cards and just getting a pinky break like that. And then what people do is they take the card and they just display it like this. And I think that looks so unnatural, because when are you ever going to take a card and show it like, oh look at this card, yeah. No, you're never gonna do that. What people normally do is they just push off the card and turn it over, and then they take the card and turn it back over again. So this double lift, which is called the strike double lift, tries to imitate that while still keeping it fairly simple. So let me get onto the tutorial, and I'm gonna switch to another angle so you guys can see a lot clearer what I'm doing. Okay, so we're now at a different angle, and basically for the strike double lift to work, you have to bevel the card. And by beveling the cards, I mean using this part of your thumb, this fleshy part, holding it in the mechanics grip, which is just a grip like this, with your three fingers on the right side, your thumb on the left side, and your index finger just curled on top. Now some people hold it like this, but for the strike double lift, you want it to be like that. So to bevel the cards, as I said before, you're going to use this part of your thumb, and all you're doing is just pushing the cards like that. And you can see here that it's beveled. So once you've got that bevel, you're coming in with your right index finger or your left, depending on what your hand is, and you're coming along and you're riffling through the cards like this. And you're just stopping when you feel two cards just jabbing into that fleshy part of your finger. Once you've got those two cards square up the deck while keeping your finger under the corner of the card, now you're going to come in with your middle finger, and then you're just going to frame it by placing it on the bottom here. So you've got your index finger under the card, and you've got the middle finger framing it. Now you have to go with your thumb. Put your thumb and place it on the corner exactly where your middle finger is under. So now you've got a grip that looks something like this. So once you've got that, you have to turn it over, right? You have to display the card. Now, this is where a lot of people get stressed, and this is where I got stressed. Because you see, it takes a lot of practice to make it look natural and to make it not split. Now, a good pointer is when you're turning over the card, don't turn it over in the air like this, because chances are it's going to split. So when you're turning it over, you want it to glide on the top of the pack. So gliding like this. You want to glide the full way. So you glide until you hit your fingers, your three fingers on this edge of the deck. So you're gliding, hitting those three fingers, and then you're letting go. Simple as that. So again, bevel the cards, come along with your right index finger or your left, take off two cards once you feel them, two cards, get in that grip, glide it along the deck until you hit the edge. Now, this is where things get interesting, because you're not gonna glide it along and then make it flush on the deck, because then you're gonna have to bevel the cards again, take the two cards again, and then glide it like that again, which is sort of suspicious if you ask me. So once you've got that first turnover done, you want it out jogged a little bit. You want the card just out jogged a little. Now you don't want it a lot, but when you're first practicing, it might be a good idea to out jog it like about this much. Because what you're gonna do with your index finger that's holding the deck, pulling down. When you're pulling down, it creates tension. Now, since you've got these 3 fingers on the top edge of the deck right here, the card is not gonna move. But once you let go, it's gonna pop up like that. Now this is pretty exaggerated. You want it to be small, so it kind of looks like this. And then as it pops up, you want to instantly square it back up. So now you've got a pinky break under the top 2 cards. Once you've got that break, it's just like the beginning, coming along with your right index finger and you're turning over the card. And make sure this time it's flush with the deck, because you see what happens if it's not flush with the deck and it's out jogged a little bit, like so. When you're pushing off the top card for real, you can clearly see that that was a double lift. So you have to make sure that it's 3 cards there, sorry. You have to make sure that it's flush with the deck the second time you turn it over, like that. Okay, so now you've got the basics of the double lift. These are some tips you can use to make sure your double lift is nice and clean. So when a lot of people do the double lift, they get really tense. They get afraid that people might spot it. And this is exactly what I used to do. But you have to learn to be smooth and calm. You have to make sure your double lift looks exactly like how you would turn over a single card. If you're turning over a single card, there's not really any pressure on you. You've got nothing to hide. So you have to try to imitate that when you're turning over 2 cards like this. That's one tip. And another tip is to be, when you're at the edge like this, try not to slam the card down like that, because that looks unnatural. And that's the last thing you want to do in card magic, is look unnatural. So to make it look more natural, I suggest going to the edge and you're just letting it go, letting it fall down on top of the deck. It looks smooth, it looks clean, and most importantly, it looks natural. Another tip, the final tip, is to make sure you turn it over fast. If a person is trying to do a double lift and they get the 2 cards and they get the grip right, but then they turn it over so slowly, like they're trying to make sure it's not splitting, and then they turn it over like that, it's pretty clear that they've got something to hide. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you want more, subscribe to my channel Migo, and thanks for watching again. See you guys later.